Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Emerge Detour Essentials Live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is episode 9. This is the second to last episode of season 6, if you can believe that. If you've been following us for this season, we've had 8 amazing guests, and tonight we have a super special guest that we cannot wait to introduce later. I know many of you are showing up on our space for the first time just to see her. So welcome to Emerge Detour Essentials Live. We are here every Wednesday while in season at 8 p.m. East. What are we? Central Standard Time. So that's 9 o'clock in the US, depending on where you are. And we stream live on our YouTube and Facebook channels. So if this is the first time you're watching our show, please take a minute to like, subscribe, and share our channel. This is definitely an episode that's going to be pretty exciting. We're very, very happy to have our guests on the show tonight. And if you're meeting us for the first time, we'll also do a quick introduction so you know who we are. So first of all, again, hi guys. Let us know in the chat where you're joining us from. I see some of our regulars here, and I see our special guest, Alicia Moulton White, who is also a member of the Sagicor Group, who is our official partner for Emerge Detour Essentials Live. And not just Emerge Detour Essentials Live, but for our upcoming workshop that Catherine will tell you all about in a minute. So if you're meeting us for the first time, my name is Naomi Garrick. I am a personal branding coach and PR consultant. I'm the CEO of Garrick Communications, and essentially I help to build brands and people. Rochelle,
hi, everybody.
That's for you, Rush.
I like when you never prepare me. Never feel
All right, read this again. And I help to build brands and people.
Thanks for that, Nye.
Rochelle, where that laugh? Where you get that laugh from?
It's my new laugh. I saw a
video. Do it again.
Sounds different. I saw a video.
Like it went up a notch.
Yeah, but I saw a video of myself and heard myself in the background laughing. You never tell me someone laugh. It is awful. It is loud. It is cackling. And I was laughing after somebody. I'm like, you have a mean laugh. You gotta laugh after people laugh. Oh, so I'm now
I don't like
it. So good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Did I say gentlemen? Wow. Emerge us all. Today we're almost at the end of March. Can you believe it? It's almost April.
We're at the end.
Yeah. We are at the end. I am Rochelle Cameron. I'm CEO. I'm a member of the Emerge trio, a trio. We could be in group.
With
and I'm soprano. I am CEO of Prescient Consulting Services Limited, an organization that helps companies with their legal communications, and in particular, one of my passions, their people development strategies. And what else am I?
Did you say you're attorney at law? Did you say that your adrenaline rush?
No, sometimes I can't remember. I'm going to write them down. I'm going to write them
down. Because all of them.
So much things. I'm going to write down my things. So I am a lawyer. I am an international speaker. I have nice teeth.
So show them now.
Kathy, over to you, honey.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for another session of Detour Essentials Live. I am Kathy Goodall. I am a leadership and growth coach. I am also a marketing strategist, a podcaster, and a YouTuber, and a very proud member of the Emerge trio. We want to say welcome to everybody. Letitia, we see you. Vincent, you're here this week from New York.
In the house.
Oh gosh, wait a second. Letitia's our first guest, right?
Letitia was our first guest for the season. Yes.
I know we're at episode 9.
9. That's right. So guys, Naomi told you we have a workshop that's coming up at the end of this month. Well, the end of April, April 30th, because it feels like we're already in April.
End of the month.
It's on April 30th, and you can pre-register now on any of our platforms at Ready to Emerge, Facebook, Instagram, to pre-register and just look out for more information on all of our platforms. We want to say thank you to Sagicor for making the workshop possible. We are super, super excited because we are going to be live in person. I mean, just getting accustomed to the idea of doing a workshop in person again is a little bit exciting and a little bit scary.
Guys, I'm just letting you know I'm going to have to hug everybody. So
if you don't want to hug,
if you don't want to hug, you have to like do this or something. Like, let me know, because I'm going to be hugging everybody in the room.
I got one train. So like when we stand up on one side of the stage, like the train just take up the rest of the stage. That's all I know.
Ooh. It's a workshop and not the conference, okay, Rashi?
Come on, it's
the workshop and not the conference.
You have to like help me carry it up. So like come up. Yeah, but you know what, Catherine? Our topic is emerging without limits. And I think for this 2022, I made a decision that I am over like smalling up. I just felt like I was kind of squeezing up myself, and I cannot be squeezed. I cannot be squeezed. I must be able to breathe. I must have a train. I must have a train. Yeah. The other day, I was going to the supermarket. So Kylie's like, you have a meeting? And said, yes, in the supermarket, baby. In the supermarket. I got a meeting in the supermarket.
Oh my God, poor Kyle. Sometimes I feel sorry for him.
Sometimes I feel sorry for him too.
So we have a super exciting guest tonight, somebody that we've been looking forward to having on the show for quite some time. And so we are going to hand over to our announcer extraordinaire.
This is where Adrenaline Rush comes in.
Yeah, let us introduce Adrenaline Rush.
I can't, guys. I'm going to sound flop, especially after Rochelle starts. So can Rochelle just start? Like, let's not embarrass me. I already had to do it a couple times when Rochelle wasn't here. That's not my lane. I know my lane, and I'll stay in it. Rochelle, over to you.
Thanks, Nye. Thanks for that. So, tonight, I've been having a sore throat all week, and my throat like feels just raw. I've just been having honey and stuff, and I've been feeling really off. And it was one of those nights that I wanted to kind of beg off because I just feel so out of it and I'm exhausted. But tonight, when you realize who the guest is, you're like, my girl, you got to drink an energy drink and you got to bring it, because it's not an ordinary person. It's not an ordinary person we have tonight. It's an extraordinary person that we have on the show tonight. So you may know her as Dania Beckford. She's a brand communication consultant and the chief crisis communication manager of BroadTail. I will go hear a lot of broad things, because you hear I was talking about my train and we now squeeze up. This is the lady that brings it broadly. So prepare yourself. Call your friends right now. She's also managing director of BroadTail Designs. She's also a model, you know. Because when them did all mold her, them throw away the mold. So there's only one of this woman named Dania Beckford. She is a podcaster and YouTuber, and you can join her show Being BroadTail. This is a woman that is driven by a passion to cause other women to recognize the beauty in everything about them. She makes herself available and presents herself in her authentic, natural way to say, ladies, come out of the corner into the video light. She just champions body positivity and self-confidence. So if you are struggling with any of that tonight, we're going to go broad with the BroadTail herself. Now, her podcast and YouTube show, they're dedicated to communicating and reshaping women's perspective of themselves. And remember, you can't say you have to change the way you think about yourself and you are not doing it, because what she does is presents herself, makes herself present, and she presents this amazing all her fullness, fluffiness, and glory to show us all that we are fearfully and wonderfully made and we need faith coming at the light. So ladies and gentlemen, right now, just stop for a minute, because if you're on and none of your friend them on, you have to let them know that we're emerging with Dania Beckford, the BroadTail lady herself. Tonight is the night.
Hi, ladies.
Hi,
How
Dania.
are you?
Hi, Dania.
Yeah, I couldn't wait for come from backstage.
I'm
How are
here.
you, Kathy? How are you, Naomi? Hi, Roshi.
Good.
How you doing?
We're good. We're so excited to have you.
Thank you so
You've
much
been
for
like
having me.
popping up on my Instagram feed all the time.
Thank you. You too. You too. I see you, Miss PR Chick. I see you. How you doing?
I'm good, Dana. We're so happy to have you on the show, and just congratulations on everything that you're doing. We just want you to know that we see you and we love celebrating women of excellence. So we're so happy that you're here joining us tonight.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I've been following your conversations and seeing all the fabulous women that you've been interviewing, and I really like it. So I was very, very honored when I got the message that I'm going to emerge. I'm ready.
Awesome. So you know what's funny, right? Because one thing about Emerge, we've always tried to ensure that we have men and women, because we've seen even from our events that we do have a lot of men show up for our conferences, right? Which is great. But we're like, listen, we started our this new season in the end of February. It's Women's History Month. So even as we were planning the guests, we're like, we really haven't had like a guy like by himself on the show. But we're like, that's okay. It's Women's History Month. We're going to be celebrating
next month.
For the rest of the season. We have a whole nother season to go. So we're just going to continue. And we're so glad we did, because then we got to have you on the show.
Thank you.
There's so much that we want to talk to you about tonight. I mean, confidence is going to be a big topic because that's what you're all about. But before we even get there and talk about, crisis management and BroadTail and all the things, I want you to share with us, not just us, Naomi, Catherine, and Rochelle, but our emergers who may be meeting you for the first time. Just share a little bit about your journey to this point.
Well, I'm from Discovery Bay in St. Anne, and I carry the entire community on my shoulders, because I like to tell people that they all sent me to UA, who did send them breakfast and who did send them breadfruit and them ackee and who did send them well wishes. So I always talk about where I'm from. And I grew up, thinking that I'm from this wonderful place. I'm actually from paradise. I grew up a little bougie in my brain, even though I wasn't like in bougie circumstances. But, I wanted to always explore. I'm very adventurous. I like outside. I love the beach. I went to St. Hilda's in Brownstone. That's boarding school, one of the best. I'm not going to argue with anybody.
Samantha writes, when she heard you were on the show, she's like, I love Dania. We went to St. Hilda's together.
Yeah, man. Hey, when Samantha come to St. Hilda's, she revolutionized the game, because town girl come a country and she went to show us some whole heap of different things. I'm like, whoa, there's another world out there. So yeah, we were in the same year group actually. She came in fourth form. And so, growing up, I really, really loved going to the beach, because I live pretty close to Puerto Rico Beach. It's like 2 minutes away from my home. And so that really characterized my love for swimsuits, which I know we're going to get into, and my own little my own confidence journey, because, well, let's think about it. If you're going to love the beach and you're going to love swimsuit is half naked, really, so it really started my confidence journey with myself.
Awesome. I love that. And then, so we also know that you are a communications expert. And I think to even be in this field of communications, it takes a lot of confidence too, right? So you have to be strong when you're in crisis and finding a solution. And essentially, BroadTail teaches women to be strong and confident in their bodies and lives. So what we kind of want to know is like, what when you hear confidence, what does that mean for you? What comes to mind for you?
You know, even before I get to the confidence, Naomi, you mentioned being in communication and it being you have to be confident to actually want to communicate with others, no matter your medium or mechanism. And I
Yep.
tell you a story of when I was younger. I actually wanted to be a radio announcer. So Paula Ann Porter was my shiro. Me never did know her. Me their country. And me I listen to her on the radio. And me I try to mimic my voice to make sure so me sound like her. And I saw me go on in a high school. And then me used to talk enough. Me still talk enough. What am I saying? Why did I say used to? And my mother used to want to do her work. And me just a chat off her ears. And so my mother buy me one recorder. Yeah, she said, talk to yourself.
Wow.
Listen to yourself. Hear all yourself sound, right? And what I would do, yeah, man. What I would do is I would see all the things that was happening on the bus while I was going to and from school. Whether it is the little people them who in them little crush relationship or what happened in the bus park, what happened at school, and I would go home. I would record it on my recorder, like news, like Paula and Porter. I'm gonna beg the bus driver if he would have played one morning when we were going to school. I'm
No
gonna tell you something
way.
serious. And the bus driver did play it, and everybody was cracking up because I was using everybody's like, so today we know that Greg likes Latoya, but Latoya doesn't. And it was crazy. And so I had to be doing broadcasts every day for the bus. So I really wanted to do radio. Reach a Carrimac, sign up for radio, and me get thrown in a PR. Of course, you know me, I protest. I'm like, no, I have to be in radio. What do you mean? And they're like, well, we don't have any space in radio, and you scored highest in the PR segment, so that's where you're gonna go. And that's how I end up in a PR.
Look at, but Daniel, come on. I know that it has been fulfilling for you now in hindsight.
Listen, I am so happy
And I
because
hear your voice many a times on many commercials and ads and all kinds of things. So you still get to do your storytelling through radio
I
and
do.
TV.
Yes, I do. So I actually am very happy that I ended up in PR because I am more well-rounded. I have holistic knowledge of communication. And as you said, I get to do ads. I still get to do my storytelling. And so I don't feel like I'm far from radio, but I've gained so much more. So yeah.
Yeah, and then also now you know the behind the scenes of the media industry.
Yes, exactly. I actually am happy that I didn't do radio. But to get back to your question of confidence,
do it now, and now I mean, I know we're gonna get to the podcast, but you have your own show.
Yes, yes,
but
yes, for sure.
In a minute, but tell us, what does BroadTail mean?
Okay, so it really means big bottom, but I figure more or less that you cannot have a whole fashion label called Big Bottom Designs. And yeah, Big Bottom Designs, I'm not sure how it would have carry over in the communication world. I don't know if we could have brand that properly. And so, you know,
but BroadTail works.
Big Bottom Designs. So what happened is that, you know,
you're speaking to me like me, Naomi Garrett, right?
I know, right?
BroadTail.
And so, you know how Jamaican man always say how you're broad. Are we frozen? I think we're frozen. No, we're not frozen anymore. Okay. So you know how when you're a full-figured woman, it's very interesting the names that you get called. And one time, one man said to me, "I'm broad like a big body Benz," and I was like, I kind of like it. I really do like it. And then I thought about the tail of a peacock and how it opens out, even though that's the male peacock. And I kind of just coined the word, BroadTail.
I like it.
I really like it.
I like it a lot. It works. It works.
Thank you.
Lord, Lord, Dana, I love you, see? You know, someone sit down and I take you know.
You need to watch her posts on Instagram.
No, I do. Well, you know, just on that, because for some women, when a man says you're broad, like, they're like, oh gosh, I need to take to my bed now. But you see it as a whole branding opportunity. You're like, I like it. I like it. That's good. Let me see how I'm going to work with that. Where does that come from, though? That translates to your head.
Well, you know, when
we're good. We're not frozen.
I think
I think
Dana.
Hello?
yeah, we're seeing you.
Yeah, we're seeing you.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
So
you're
I
good on our side.
when persons ask me, where did the confidence come from, I don't really have a specific answer to give, except that my parents allowed me to be who I was, even if I was going to get beaten after. So I would always get the up. No, it's true. So they would always give me the opportunity to express myself, no matter the repercussions. And so out of that, I kind of learned that if I had something to say, if I wanted to do something, I should just say or do it. And their repercussions, they may be negative or positive, but be yourself. And so that was the knowledge that they gave to me. And I think it just blossomed into who I was. But also, where the body type thing is concerned, is that people in my family look like me. So whereas some people may be small and bigger, but we are voluptuous, we have bottom, we have hips, we have ample breasts. And so I grew up seeing people that look like me. And so when I went to high school, a girl made it a point of her duty to tell me that I'm fat. And I couldn't fathom why she was telling me, because I me never really see myself as fat, because everybody who live in my yard look like me. So I don't know what was the differentiation. Just like how I would not tell somebody say them skinny. You know what I mean? It was just not a thing for me. And I think, with puberty and all of that, and being around different people and seeing that they have different thoughts about body type, is when I started to realize, okay, so maybe some people will see you as different because you're fat, or they're skinny, or they're medium. And so that was my first eye opener to this may be a different thing. But by that the time, I already 11 and in myself. So I never really care.
I love it. So we talked about the brand being BroadTail, and the podcast being BroadTail. So you have the podcast now. You have the YouTube channel, which is very inspirational and very motivational for all of us, for all women. And you talk a lot about, your confidence and owning who we are, and just being comfortable in our skin. So I want to know, and you also have affirmation cards, don't you?
I do. That we started that this year in February.
And they're available at
Fontana in Waterloo, at the Waterloo store.
How's that been going, Dania? I love an affirmation card.
Yeah, man. So like the affirmation thing, it kind of just pop up on me and Naomi, because whereas I like to affirm myself with words, it was never something that I thought about adding to the business until I would have said I want to think on Instagram, and people really gravitate to it. And I was like, maybe I should write these things down, but I never wanted it to sound like how the ones on Amazon sound, that those sound like me. And so I wrote them just like how I said them to myself. Some of them have patois, because that's our language here in Jamaica, our Creole language, and people really love them. And so I was like, maybe I should just give them away. And well, it's not really a giveaway because you pay for it.
So you talked about, how you already grew up with confidence in your house, because that is what you were exposed to. But at what point did you realize that everybody else, a lot of us, needed it? And why are you so passionate about helping others to be confident?
I think it came out of the fact that I saw that I had friends that were so amazing, but because they weren't as confident as I was, that they were just kind of hiding in the background, or didn't really step out and do the things that they liked. I remember I have one friend who, she was excellent in clothing and textile from with their high school. Like if me didn't know some mega fashion business, no would have paid more attention in a clothing and textile class. But she was just so amazing in it. Like, them people that hold on and make bag out of jeans with earring and all type of creative things, and you're like, how you get that? And she ended up going to teachers college, and I couldn't fathom how she reached out teachers college. And I'm not saying anything bad about teachers, because we all know teachers are the foundation of our society. But we had a conversation a couple of years ago, and she said that she was just not confident that the things that she was doing would either make money or people would take her seriously. And let me tell you, her designs were crazy from high school. I'm sure the girl would have done like New York Fashion Week now. And so things like that from a very early age, I was just like, people inhibit themselves just because they're not confident enough to step out and try to be themselves. They're afraid of what people think of them. They shrink away in the background. And I wasn't going to do that. And the people that I carry with me, my close friends, I try to build them up. And so it just kind of expanded.
Yeah, wow. So just give us like some quick pointers on how do we become more confident or display or practice confidence in our own lives?
Well, you mentioned it before, Catherine, where you said that it's being comfortable in your own skin. So none of us are perfect. All of us have flaws, whether it be physical flaws, mental flaws, emotional flaws, flaws throughout. We're imperfect people, but that's what makes us so amazing. Coming to accept the things that you are and the things that you are not, that's how you start to build your confidence. So for me, I'm horrible at administrative things. Like, it just so hard for me, like, me feel fool when it come to farms, and you'd feel so me can't read. Like, me have whole a 2 degree. Why it's so hard for me fill out one farm? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I understand that that's me. And so I will get help where that is concerned. Even if it's something easy, I may need you to help me. And I don't feel bad about it anymore because I just some stay become good in some other something. I'm good with strategy, I'm good with creating things. And so when you come to know the things that you're good at and hone those and get help with things that you may not be good at or try to be better at them, you come to accept yourself more, and then you love yourself for who it is. And it's not easy either. I know I'm not going to sit here and talk about, oh my God, every day I wake up confident. No, my breast long, my titty long. And it long time. And I know it long now. And I know it long. Like, I can't even blame my pitney. No. It long time. And I don't feel confident every time when I take off my clothes. But you know what? One of the day them when me did a go on about my breast and my all I say, you know, so make I get implants because I want to on the no bra team, and I saw me go on with my body. And on that day my sister called me. My sister in Florida called me and she told me that she had breast cancer and she had to cut off her breast them, and she is still going through chemo right now for it. I mean, I said, look how me I go on with my breast them. But I have breast cancer. I have to cut them off. And I'm not going through what my sister is going through with her very beautiful breasts, because I tell her, I say, oh, I want your breast. So, you know what I mean? And so sometimes we harp on the things that we think we want to change about ourselves until we get a eye opener about something else that somebody would have loved my long titty right now if not cut off for them. You know what I'm saying? So things like that build me up.
Boy, I mean, sorry, I just got no, honestly, because you think about it and it's just such a massive reality, seeing people wanting them for things they have or wishing you had something that you didn't, and not realizing, there are so many people that would just dream to have the life that you have, or just some of the things or one of the things that you have, right? So the way you said it just really, really put it into perspective.
Yeah. And also that, when we see Mert say, I see word, Kadeen said word, Mert said Dania Beckford equals authenticity. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Dania, as I see you show up in just these different spaces, and it was just very important a while ago that you reminded us that confidence doesn't mean that everything about ourselves we are super confident. No. Because things say you just bounce out of bed every day and you just can't and just go along. It's not like that. But it's like it's an overall acceptance of self in a way that you just take self as self is and show up, and you do that in such an empowering way. But as we're even on this topic, and you mentioned your business, so that we don't forget that there is a business behind Dania. Can we hear a little bit about Dania's business and how you pour these different aspects of you in just growing this business?
Yeah. Okay, so let me start from the beginning as it relates to BroadTail. So BroadTail Designs actually came out of, as I said, the fact that I came from a place that there is a beautiful beach and I always go there and I love swimsuits. And my mother, she had this black halter swimsuit that she had from the 70s. And because I was going to the beach so much as a teenager, I couldn't find things that was age appropriate and still not looking too frumpy. You know what I'm wearing? And so she lent me the swimsuit. And let me tell her something, ladies, me rings out the swimsuit. Me wear so till the material thin, right? Because I couldn't find anything. And you know salt water. So it thin out. I mean, I wear it same way. And then after a while, I would sketch my own and I would have my mother seamstresses make it. So in 2015, I've been struggling with my period since I was in grade 10 at St. Hilda's from 1998. I would have rough periods, them hard, them painful. I would get so nervous when my period come because every blood just everywhere that like dungeon.
Crime scene. I know
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, man. And crime so scene. It's crime scene for true. Yeah. And over time I developed fibroids. And in 2015 I did the surgery to take them out. I had 15 of them, big. My belly did big like me. I won 5 months pregnancy. And I went back home to heal. I left my job at the time because I just like when your body get cut open and things get taken out of it. I don't know for nobody else, but it put your life in a perspective. You know what I mean? So I did just need a little time from work. And so I took 4 months off and I went back to Discovery Bay and I went to the beach. My mother said that salt water heal everything. Me and my best friend, Tenique, she took me to the beach. Could I barely walk. And I remember I was in a swimsuit that I designed right before the operation. It was a polka dot asymmetrical cut monokini. Never forget it. And I took a picture when I wasn't feeling very confident because remember say your belly did big like a 5 months pregnancy and him take out the something so now your belly flap down. But just to make you know say one flap there, you know, the most confident thing I go on right now. And I took a picture and I posted it on Facebook and a bunch of people were telling me how good me look. Imagine, me not feel good to myself. Me not look good to myself. But a bunch of people were telling me how great I looked and where I got that swimsuit from. And I posted in the comments that, you know, I made it. And a couple of females who are plus size said, so would you make it for us? And I said, you would have pay a fee? And them say yes. And I said, the business start not never register until 1 year later. Yeah, we start pay tax 1 year later. Yeah, I'm just putting it out there. We pay our tax now, though. We pay our tax now. And that's how the business started, where I recognized that the same thing that was happening to me was happening to a lot of other women. And we have learned to actually grow more into the business, right? And so after the first year of just selling swimsuits and cover-ups and being my own model, because then we couldn't find nobody to model for me because plus size swimsuit was not thing though. Like which girl, right? And which girl Mega gets, you know? So I was asking my friends. I was working at customs for a while, and one of my thick friends was like, "You know, come model for me." And she's, not really. And me that convince her can't find nobody for model the swimsuit. That's why I became my own model. Rochelle, you talk about me, I'm modeling at the introduction. Girl, it never. I just never have nobody to do it for me. You know what I mean? And so we grew even further where I'm a lover of carnival because as I can see from my IG page, I love to dance. And so Andrew Bellamy in 2017 asked me, he told me that he was going to start a carnival band, which is now Jamaica International. And he said that, you know, he wanted it to be inclusive. He thinks that I have a lot of fun on the road because I always remake my costume them. So when I used to buy from, it was Bacchanal at the time, when I used to buy from Bacchanal, I remake them. So I take the brazier and the panty and then the things to him. And he was like, just make a costume for full-figured women. And so I was like, okay. I don't really know how to make costume, but I guess I want a swimsuit with gem. I don't know. Yeah. And then put the feather on it and turn costume, right? And so we embarked on it. And let me tell you something, ladies. This is one of the biggest things that happen in the business because me choose one fabric. Remember some young in the fashion thing, you know. Me choose one fabric we have sequin on it, and if I saw it go under the machine, I saw the needle them a broke. And I'm just like, the people them pay them money for them costume. Why me can't sew the costume? How me go sew the costume? Because the needle of the machine, industrial machine, keep breaking because of this fabric, and so it slowed down everything. On distribution day, because you know different costumes get distributed on different days. When it was the day before BroadTail Day, the costume did name Rogue. Me never forget it. The black costume with the mesh. Girl, the PR have to kick in quick and fast because the whole of the costume them the make. So crisis management, me put out announcement, not even Bella, me never know at the time, say, me not have enough costume, they're not done yet. Me put out announcement same time, don't come to distribution for your costume. The BroadTail ladies, we are going all out for you. Send us an email, drop the email about where your hotel is, where your home is, we're gonna be delivering to you, because girl, me don't want them show up on me now. Yo!
Well done. Well done.
Bravo.
Me not have no costume. And then me see people are posting, oh my God, BroadTail is so great because we're getting home deliveries. I call up my friend Joni from Morgan's Creek. And I said, Joni, beg you like a foot soak or something for putting in our box that's different. Just in case when the swimsuit them put on, then oh God, we giving them stuff. You know what I'm saying? All of my friend them turn delivery people. All of my friend them to deliver people. Oh, every costume just a pack up in a car, and my friend them just had deliver costume. Girl, it was something else. When it is carnival day now, and the last costume delivered the night before, and then me stay up whole night and make my own costume. And you see when me see the costume, then on the road, it was 50 costumes at the time. Yes. Me not make no money. 50 costumes, but it was for representation that full-figured women could be on the road and feel comfortable and sexy at the same time. Me say me ball so till because only me and my friend them know all them costume and nearly never dip on the road and girl career done before it starts.
Oh my God.
Wow.
So we've had to learn along the way. Never again is this girl choosing a costume that is sequin. No. We'll put the sequin onto it. But the base of it will not be sequin. The next year around, because of that crisis management, we got we were the third highest number section in Jamaica. That was the pink costume now, the one called Iridescence. That's how much people told their friends about it. We were actually Jamaica was the first band to have a full-figured section, like authentic full-figured section. And so those were some of the things that honed me into the business to learn from my mistakes and heartache and high blood pressure to say, how do I make this business work? And so for me, it has been the convergence of my PR mind with my now fashion and creative mind. Yeah.
Guys,
but yeah, I have high blood pressure that time.
That's all the personal brand, it's utilizing all of your skills and experiences and journeys and everything to be who you are right now.
Trust me. Trust me.
And then the who Dania is. So we did talk about the businesswoman. We talk about communication strategies. We know she come from DBA and she love beach, but she have a gentleman there who is about 3 now.
Yeah, in May he's gonna be 3.
Oh wow! May what?
May 20.
Oh, I'm the 15th.
Are you May? Really? Hey, Taurus.
Yeah,
he's a very determined boy.
Yes.
Tell us about him and that journey, because you talked about even your period journey and fibroids. So I'm sure along the way you did have 1 and 2 doctors who say,
no baby.
No baby.
Yeah, they told me that there would be no baby. And I'm going to sound maybe a little dark, but when them tell me I'm not gonna have no babies because of this fibroid situation, I said to myself, but me a woman, and the only thing what woman can do, a man can do, have picked me like me for breed though. Like, what you mean? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that was my first thought, and a couple of my friends them look at me like, what? And by no means am I saying that every woman should have a child, but for me, I really wanted to be a mother at some point in my life, and so I wasn't taking that scenario very lightly. And so the mommy journey has been pretty tumultuous for me. I say that I'm exhaustingly happy because it's more than 24 hours. It's like every minute of the day, even if you're not with the child, you're thinking about the child. You want the best for the child. It's like your heart just outside of your body, and you just wonder if it's a go drop or somebody are go squeeze it, you know what I mean? And even now I'm at my best friend's house, big up my best friend Tanique, because me can't do my yard and this a one. Oh no, would I never get to talk to me. And when I just in at the camera and say, "What are you doing?" You know what I mean? And so having to structure, that's his favorite thing right now. What are you is one word, and then doing is the other. What are you doing? Okay, yeah. And so having to structure your life around running two businesses, having a child, COVID, because he was born 9 months before COVID, it has been quite a lot. You know what I mean? And even just trying to navigate it all. On some days, I have said to myself, "What am I doing? Like, what am I doing?" Sometimes I feel like I don't know what I'm doing, and I feel like
you don't want to know what you're doing.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know. I don't even want to know what tomorrow.
Because you not want to know if it's good, bad, indifferent. Like when they're on the scale, you just like me just a do.
Yeah, me just kind of do it. Me I wing it, you know. And so over time, thankfully, we learn what the different cries mean, and then they get their own way of communication, and so they get.
Oh, no, it's not you, Roshi. It's Dania.
Yeah.
To communicate with you, and it really is just an unpredictable journey.
Yes, that's what it is for.
I love it though.
Yeah,
and as you said, it doesn't end because mine is 16 in 2 weeks.
Sometimes I'm like, give me a break. Can I get better? No, you still feel the same way?
Yeah.
It's but the only thing now is that I definitely won't get what you're doing. He doesn't really care what I'm doing now. Squirreled away in his room, locked away, and he'd be so annoyed that I was even talking about him on this show. But that heart out of your body, I feel it even more now because now he's starting to go out. Now he's after 2 years of not doing anything, he's now starting to. He has realized there is an outside that includes girls. So he's now outside. So
we're not ready.
I'm not want to message and say, "Hey, is everything okay? What time? What are you on your way home?" Like,
so the roles switch.
But it's a whole new experience, though. But it doesn't end. It just doesn't end. That's what I realized.
You know, somebody said to me the other day. She sent a message. She's like, "Rosh, enjoy every part of this journey because you have about 18 summers." And I was like, "Huh?" She's like, "Yeah, you have about 18 summers, so use them wisely."
Wow.
Yes, nice. Some of them are in Panar. But you know, you said that, you know,
it just hurt me when you said that, Rochelle, because that means I only have 2 summers left. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Not too lovely. Because you have here say one little lady coming down. One lady I travel with him. Come. I'll be there, baby.
I don't know. I'm not ready.
Popcorn. I'm gonna be there with my popcorn.
I'm not ready at all.
Anyway, I'm not ready.
I'm not ready.
But Dania, you know, as in recent times, I've been talking a lot more about pregnancy, big woman pregnancy, because we don't talk enough about it, and we just don't talk about women things enough. You know, it's like everything is a secret woman thing. But as women are watching tonight, or they're having friends that, you know, are dealing with the whole matter of childbearing, you know, what would you say to them? Like how did you talk yourself down from, that's not the story of my life. You can say anything you want about fibroid and stuff, but that's not my story, to where you are now?
What would I say? I would say that even though there's no real way to prepare, but you ought to be in a mental space that you're actually ready to fully and holistically care for another human being, because they depend on you for everything. And even though daddy is there, big up daddy, there's sometimes when them don't want nobody except them mommy. right? It's just mommy that they want right now. And it can be a lot for you if you're not mentally prepared for that journey. But also enjoy it, because you also get the opportunity to hone skills and attitudes in another human being. And hopefully we make the world better by doing that. You know what I mean? I feel like sometimes, again, because of what I said before about me, a woman, me for breed though, that we take it for granted that because we have the organs for it to happen and we carry them, that it is not a magical and amazing task. It is. It is. We actually get to hone generations of people that will shape the world. And so for me, that is where the magic is for me. So I would say ensure that you're prepared mentally for it. I am happy that it's happening to me at this time, where I think that I'm mature enough where every pan knock, me not have to go, me can rest my body and all my other body parts. And so I am not.
Control yourself.
You know that's what I talk about.
You know, Rochelle is ready to do the whole line.
To say the rest of it, right?
Say all of it.
Right.
Rest your brain.
But I actually have new tasks. I have new tasks, ladies, because remember I said he was born 9 months before COVID started, and in my PR life and my communication life, a lot of my clients are in entertainment, because you know, say this a crisis live, and so now that the world has quote unquote opened back up, I have to be out more with some of these clients doing tasks and ensuring that things are done, and so I'm here navigating between me and daddy and grandma, how and nanny, how all of this is going to work.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm gonna reach the part.
It's happening again.
Yeah. You know, Dania, like you are so open. And I think people think, you know, that they think they know you. What would surprise people about you? What would they be surprised to know about you?
That I'm not open. So I'm a very private public person.
It's no blink, like you're like.
I'm a very private public person. So I give you the information that I want you to have, which is also something that I say to my clients who get afraid of social media. Oh, I don't want to be on Instagram or Facebook or whatever because people are going to know about my life. You give them the information that you want them to have. And so I love reading more than I love speaking. I like my little quiet space. I like go to the beach and pick up shell. And just be there like a little girl. I love. I'm very young at heart, and so you would see me doing things in private and acting a fool that you'll be like, hold on, and that girl here we're going like so she's so confident and I take on the world as she just run up and down half naked in her house and gone. So yeah, it's me.
What's your favorite book? You said you like to read. What's your favorite book or a book that you want to recommend for us?
You know, funny enough, right before Will slapped Chris Rock, I was reading Will. Yeah. And so this is a
good transition into crisis management conversation.
I'm still reading it. It's so big, so I haven't finished it yet, but it's very interesting.
It actually is very interesting, and I was on Beyond the Headlines on Monday because in all the WhatsApp groups that I was in, I had a very different point of view than most of my friends and colleagues about why he may have done what he did, and a little bit more sympathy towards him. And I think it's because I was reading the book. So in the book, he says that, and this is no justification for his actions because violence should never be the first way at all. But in the book, he speaks about how I don't know if you get there already, Naomi, how his father used to abuse his mother and his siblings used to jump in and help her, but he was so scared that he didn't. And so he has carried it with him that he never defended his mother. So when me I watch Oscar now, and my sister, everybody, I have fun, Chris Rock, I make him joke and whatever, and I saw that Will was laughing, and then when he looked on Jada and realize that, okay, she has stopped laughing and she's feeling different about this part of the joke, that I think he went into defense mode, not because of what Chris Rock said.
His
I'm
brain
sorry for
just
Chris Rock,
and
but
like
because of what was
the trauma.
Exactly.
And like I said,
everything from before.
I don't justify either, Dania, but definitely reading that book brings a little perspective, because even that one big incident where his dad had hit his mom so hard that blood flowed and stuff. And it's one of the things that led him to be a comedian, right? Because he wanted to be a people pleaser going forward, so that he would never be the victim. You know, he's always making people laugh, but it's still something. He's always felt that he was a coward in the important times, right? When it really mattered. So yeah, I agree. So I'm definitely not condoning. I definitely don't think you just go around slapping people. But there's always a story, right?
Right. Because it was outside of his regular behavior.
To really find out why would he do that?
Right.
So you are his publicist. You are his publicist. Say you are his publicist. You did a good watch the Oscar and you're like, yeah, my client is gonna win tonight. You look on the suit and you say, well, that's what they fit your good Jada. I love the dress. Them get front seat and thing. Like we just flow nicely. Like you see Chris Rock going, you're not even a pay him no money, go drink some water, cause you wait for the best thing. Then you say, young little longer hear what Chris has said. But when you see him get up now, and you say, outside, where I go? And you see Max. Chris. You're the publicist now. What got through your head now? What you doing?
I turn off my phone. I'm joking. I'm joking. It's funny that you asked me that question, because so many people asked me that question this week, and my first answer is, I turn off my phone and wait till the morning. But I'm joking. I'm really joking. As his publicist, I believe that even if I did not know what happened in his childhood, I must have read his book, because clearly I'd be
behind it. Yeah.
So I would definitely take it from his human point of view. I would not condone or have him make excuses for what he did, but I would open it up more public about some of the trauma that he actually went through. Of course, the apology to Chris Rock, and I would need to speak to Chris Rock's publicist, because immediately we would have to have some sort of photo or release of the two men talking, an actual apology between them, and showing some goodwill, even if what it is at the time. But there had to be some visual between them, because I tell you what, one of the things that I think we're not talking about enough is the fact that this whole thing started out of a Black woman.
Yes.
And I'm just saying Black woman now because I'm Black.
Yeah.
But a woman being made to be the center of
ridiculed. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Even though
okay, guys, because you know we're going to continue this conversation.
Because it's hard. I see Auntie Dorothy say so many people against Will Smith. No condemnation of Chris Rock's behavior. He just does not have the right to verbally abuse Will Smith's wife. And that's the point that you are making, Dania. Let's not look
right. I was making the point that the beginning of it all is that he made what he thought is a joke about a woman's hair. And let's talk about hair for a little while everybody tell us from we little bit, say we hair with beauty and we hair with crown. And it's a little close to me, ladies, because if you realize my head side is not there anymore, and I'm fierce with it and I rock it. But the reason why my head side gone is because post baby, the locks on this side has begun to get very thin. And one patch there where did I peel out? And show me not all on pan, when I all on for me, I cut it off. But at the point when I was cutting it off, me never feel like, oh, me not all on pan, when I all on for me. I felt like, okay, My locks are very long. I love them. This is my hair. I love my hair. And me shed a one tear for me hair. So if I was in a position where I knew my hair was not going to grow back because I have something like alopecia, I don't want nobody to make no joke. It no matter if me a celebrity, it no matter if I'm tough on most days in front of the camera. I don't want you to joke about that because it's not a joke to me.
Yeah.
And he did
I think that's what he felt for her.
documentary about our crowns and our hair, so you would expect that he would be more sensitive to talking about it. But I have another question to follow up regarding this crisis management, right? So a statement went out that was supposedly from Chris Rock, and then his team comes out and says that apology is not from us. How do you feel about that from a PR perspective? If he were your client, would you do that? As
which one?
PR publicist now. Would you?
Well, you see, the thing is, I thought that apology was solid, you know. And so when I heard that, yeah, I thought it was solid.
Yeah, I was like, big up you.
Exactly.
So like, where did it come from?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but my thing is though, it came out, but for you to come out and say, "Me never say so."
Yeah, but
yeah, I thought that was a bad move on their part.
It's weird though. It's just, where did it actually come from? That's what I would like to know.
Yeah,
exactly. But, and so, if you can go,
go
unless he doesn't really feel that way, I would have never said no we'd come from. Girl, would I keep it? I thought it was solid, but I really do. No, true. Maybe would I keep it? We would keep it. The team has kept it, you know.
I know,
but I really.
Because it was well done. It was well done.
It touched on all the key points, right? And what he will do going forward. And I think that's what Will's team kind of needs to look at now too, is like, it's not just about saying sorry. Obviously, they're going to figure out between both teams, you know, how they will reconcile, if they're going to do the actual red table talk together or whatever. But then it's also, how do we not let this happen again? Like, what's the next step, right? So that we invite
definitely, how do we
go slapping everybody. So there's so many layers to this. Like, I feel like we could have our own red table just about this incident.
You're absolutely correct. I think that it has to be collaboration. To be honest, I liked the apology that came out of Will's team, but I didn't love it. I thought that the fake one from Chris Rock's team was better, for sure.
I didn't love it either.
Yeah.
Yes.
And and there has to be some visual to it. Because with everything,
it can't just because we're human. That can't be it.
No, and for me, the visuals must be there, because with everything happening with Black Lives Matter and this narrative that they're talking about, he filtered into the angry black man. I don't really subscribe to that narrative, because it was created by racist people. And we're not going to talk about angry people until we talk about slavery for 400 years, okay? So let's just leave that in the back. But I'm saying that
the optics weren't great post the award as well, because then all these videos came up with him having a great time, which, yes, I understand this was a big time, this is an Oscar, but he also did something that was really not okay. And it just seems like no big deal, you know, life.
Exactly.
With life.
Exactly. And that part of it for me is not okay, because if you remember what I said before,
like, sorry about what I did. I would pretend a little bit, you know, put on my act.
Right, and you must know that your actions have repercussions, no matter what those actions are. Yeah, you could have like go home though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could go home.
But you didn't have to go to the Oscar party.
No. Yeah. But you know what?
As a publicist, I would pull him from that. We'd be going home.
Yeah. Let's go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Get to know yourself. Rest your brain. Yes. So, you know, Dana, I think though, for me, one of the big moments coming out of that was the way that Denzel Washington and Tyler Perry showed up for him. Because Denzel done win 2 Oscars already, and Tyler's like the biggest producer. They could have sat down and WhatsApp him and say, hey, brother, maybe next time we don't do that. They didn't have to put themselves out where people would have seen them actually reaching out to him. And, you know, it just said to me sometimes too that, you know, even where our friends disappoint us or they are in a position that we would not have necessarily made choice? Are we going to publicly show up for them? Are we only the village at the launch party?
When he just wins the award.
Or are we the village in the time when the village really need for surround you and come with the, you know? And I said, I thought we also need to look at that side of it.
Yeah.
Two strong black men also came and said, we are making ourselves available to you.
That was very strong, and that's what I mean by the visuals having to be there in this particular crisis, because also we are women, we're not men, and they talk about the struggle of not having the same type of support system that women may have among ourselves for men. And I think that was the type of support that you're talking about. And even in this COVID period though, ladies, I feel like it has been the prime time to see if the village show up for you, because for me, no swimsuit and no cover up Nina Cell. Oh, beach and river lock, so yeah, man. Entertainment, not a thing, not happening. You know what I mean? And so even in the pivot of being BroadTail, as in starting the podcast and YouTube series, it was in an effort to keep the brand name alive, because no money was being made, because what I produce and the experience that I bring is not happening, you know? And so my tribe actually show up for me, because my makeup friend did do my makeup. My friend, my best friend, the one that I'm in her house, she have an events company, as she did the set for me. My other friend, as she styled me. One of my clients, Harry J Recording Studio, she said, do it in my studio, because me never have no money for put on no podcast. And big up to Sagicor, who I know sponsor you and sponsor me, that saw that it was a good product. The tribe actually showed up for me when I was just like, okay, so I'm gonna start big business. No, when everything lock. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you're right. You're correct.
Wow.
So I cannot believe that
you could have been for like 2 hours.
Yeah. I cannot believe that we've been on for over 1 hour. Dania, we don't want to keep it from your family, but we have to do our best advice segment.
Of course.
So we have a segment called Best Advice, where we ask you the best advice that you've either received or that you'd like to share on different topics. So the first one.
Best advice about being confident. I think for this one, I'd like to share what I would say. So my best advice about being confident is that confidence is worth nothing if it's not authentic. So if it is that you are out there playing confidence, or you're pretending to be confident, it's going to catch up with you. People are going to see that it's fake. And usually when it's fake, it becomes arrogant. And nobody likes that. Nobody gravitates to that. And so I would say be your authentic self. Learn to love yourself truly, even with the imperfections. And that's my best advice about being confident.
Love that. Love yourself truly, even with the imperfections.
Yeah.
Best advice about self-love and care.
Best advice about self-love and care. So this one actually came from my best friend. And we've been best friends. You hear me call her name enough times since we're in the program, because we've been best friends since we were 6 years old. I met her the first day of grade 1. Yeah, Tenny Gail. I met her the first day of grade 1. I think I was a little bit nervous about being in a big school. Yeah, me. And she are the shy one. But I was nervous about being in a big school. And I was underneath the table eating pencil shavings. I don't know why.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Not the pencil shavings, Dania.
I don't know. I just that minute know I'm nervous. And she came under the table. She's very small, quite the opposite of me. And she said, don't eat that. And she became my best friend because I figured she have sense, you know? And so we have really, since we've been growing up, we take self-care very serious, even though we never know self-care at the time. And so I think that it's so important that sometimes you just unwind, whether that means going to your favorite beach, or it means getting a massage, or it means laughing and talking with your friends, or getting your nails done, or your hair done. Self-care looks different for everybody. Sometimes it's just sitting in a room and being silent with your thoughts, reading your favorite book. It not have to be nothing highfalutin where you see people on social media with masks on their face and acting like they're living the bougie life. I mean, that can be it too. But my point is, it's so important that you do it, that it really can just be anything that takes you to a happy place. And so you should do it.
Listen, for me, a little rum cream in my coffee goes a long way.
Right? See?
I mean,
Let me try that.
Happy place.
I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it. When I was at Customs, I used to put alcohol in my coffee cup.
But like what kind of alcohol? Like strong stuff?
Why are you
At that time it was white rum because it was necessary. Yeah. And I would be there with the coffee cup acting like coffee in there. Yeah.
My God.
Well,
I was PR for Customs. It's Jamaica Customs. Come on now.
We're not judging. This is a safe space. We're not judging you. But that's hilarious.
On that note, best advice about crisis management.
Best advice about
that white rum in that coffee mug.
Right.
Okay, so this one actually came from Carlet Delion. So Headline Entertainment is the first place that I worked. I was there for internship in 2006 before I finished my degree.
You see how long
and I don't even know if she remembers saying this to me, because of course it's entertainment, and with entertainment come artists, and with artists, especially the ones in dancehall, man, they're unpredictable. And so
that's a great word. That's a great word.
And I remember her saying to me one time that, when crisis happens, communicate. That's what you do. You communicate. If something is going wrong, you don't keep it to yourself, and you don't try to deal with it by yourself. Because a crisis is better handled when you communicate and you get people to help you. Now, we know saying every crisis you can tell people, because some things will make people go to jail. But at the same time, there must be a lawyer, Rochelle, that you call or something. So I always remember that in a crisis, remember to communicate, because when you keep it to yourself, you may not have all of the solutions, and that's how when blood pressure go up and people did. It no work out.
Yep. Best advice about business.
Just do it.
Love that.
I think that, and I know I'm not giving that one to Nike, but I think that a lot of times we have these ideas in our heads of great things that we want to do, and because we think that we need to get all of the ducks in a row, or we need to have a degree in it, and I mean, it's good to have a degree in it, of course, it's good to have training or certification in whatever it is that you want to do, which sometimes does not mean formal training, but we think that we can't embark on it because we're not skilled enough to do it. Just try. You never know. It may become the biggest business. Look on Facebook. Remember how Mark Zuckerberg started that? You know what I'm saying? And now it's Meta, where it's a multinational corporation. So, and so many other businesses that we can think about in Jamaica that started out of the fact that you just did it.
Yeah, I have a coach that always says done is better than perfect.
Exactly. Done is better than perfect. I'm going to keep that.
Yeah, no problem. What advice would you give to your 21-year-old self?
Invest more. I think that I've had very bad money management when I was young, in terms of, it's not like I didn't have money as splurge, but I was so caught up in paying back my student loan and being able to navigate myself in Kingston with a car and, just affording everything, that I did not save enough in my younger years. And even though I've caught up, well, baby, happen, I know me, I feel I catch up again. But the point is, I thought that if I could say something to my 21-year-old self, because that's when I was leaving UA, I would say, save more than you spend.
Wow.
I mean, that's still relevant today.
Yeah. Roshi, your infamous question.
What award would I give myself? The Confidence Award, of course.
Yeah.
I find they don't have that award anywhere. They don't have it. They don't have it anywhere. And so that's the one that I give myself and so many other women. Yeah, the Confidence Award for sure.
Yeah. Oh.
That is it. But you know what's funny? I watch people's body language when we talk about what the award is. It's like everybody kind of like shuffles in their seats a little bit as they're thinking about what award am I going to give myself? Right? So I love to see how, you know.
There's always the shuffle.
They're like, oh.
Yeah, the shuffle. The shuffle comes before the award.
Yep.
I love it. Dania, this was such a pleasure. I mean, we could have continued this show for another hour. Yeah. We would definitely love to have you back, and I can say on behalf
live.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say on behalf of the team, I
can't wait for come out there. I don't know.
I was saying I can confidently say that we would love to have you on our Emerge stage for our summit. We have that summit. We definitely. So this is our official invitation to you to be on our live Emerge stage when we have our first summit. But I mean, this was just really, I mean, one is for me personally, it's just great to have another communication specialist on the show because your insight was very invaluable as well. And just a journey, sharing that journey to BroadTail, to communications, saying you want to be a radio broadcaster and now you have an agency, you're still broadcasting through BroadTail and so many other things.
Thank you so much.
We're just very excited to see what else Dania and BroadTail have to bring to this world.
Yeah. Thank you so much, ladies. I'm really so happy that you invited me. Like, truly, this conversation, I was so tired today. I'm not going to tell you no lie. I was so tired today. And when I couldn't come on a while ago, I started to feel so flustered when I couldn't come on because I was like, oh my God, I never downloaded the thing properly. I'm not like this. And I started to get anxious but at the beginning of the conversation. But I must say, you have made me feel so comfortable and you've really made me have a lot of laughs remembering some things that happened and just all of the blessings that you have sent through your own encouragement to me. Thank you so much.
And I know she didn't just sign off a while ago, so we'll give her.
But you know, I just need to point out something. So we have some emergers. So let me just point out something to you. We have some emergers that are usually on with us, but sometimes them don't comment. When we call her out, you see when
Jamala Bennett, yes.
2 times.
I noticed them after 2 times. I'm waiting for the show to finish to kind of make sense. That you don't have things to do, mommy.
Yo, listen.
You don't know.
You know, say a thing large.
Let me tell you something. You see, Kimala is such a background to my business, and let me tell you why. And you know, funny enough, I should have said this when you asked me about my advice about business. I kept calling BroadTail. I was working with Kimala at the lab, and I kept calling BroadTail Malika business. And she kept saying to me, why you keep on calling it a little business? It's a big business. At this time, we're not even registered yet. You know, remember me tell us there 1 year after we registered and start paying tax, right? And she kept saying, stop calling it a little business. It's a big business. And for all the ads that you mentioned, Naomi, that you heard my voice in, that's Kimala, like straight. And so I'm just so grateful to her. She really knows how to build characters and women in business. And I must say
100%.
Oh, we love Kimala over here.
Yep. She has her own little fan club over on this side.
But, as I said earlier, today was just that day when, you know, when you didn't, your throat didn't feel scratchy, but you just feel it come down for you today. And I say, God, not today, you know. I said, not with Dania Beckford. I tell you, say, me feel good now. Me feel like me get a little vitamin D.
Yeah. You feel like a broad.
Yeah,
you a brother.
Dania, we love you. No, Dania, we love you. And just know that we're just praying God's blessing over everything that you do, and that we are speaking and declaring this is not a little business. BroadTail is a big, broad business.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for saying yes. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for another episode of Detour Essentials Live. Join us next week because it's going to be our last episode for this season. Follow us on all of our platforms at Ready to Emerge. Sign up for the workshop. We have the pre-registration open April 30th. We are live back in person, and we cannot wait to see you. Like Nice says, pure hug up when gone.
Yes.
If you don't want to hug up, come prepared with a sign or something.
Yes. Naomi, do not hug me, please.
So Dania and everybody else, we wish you a great rest of your week. Be safe. COVID is still around. We know somebody that caught it just this weekend. So guys, be safe. Still protect yourself and protect the people around you that you love. And stay safe until next week. We see you again. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.